by both of the head coaches in the building today. We are underway from the pad. An error over there by Lexi Finnerty is going to get... Savannah Colheed, the junior from Texas, serves it for the Hoosiers, and it goes straight out of play in her year plus in College Park. Straight into the net. Cameron Hayworth will serve this one for Indiana. On the return, they get it towards Sam Sire, and error on the return from Hayworth gives Maryland the point.
Over the net into where no one else can be. That's just a really good play overall by Sire.
Sam Sire, been one of the best players on this Maryland team the last few seasons now. Already a junior. The Strongsville, Ohio native.
I seem to remember a very special game 366 days ago now that you were on the call for, Shane, where Sire posted a career-high 17 kills and had the game-winning kill. And then that was a really special day for this Maryland volleyball program.
The biggest win in program history. Maryland was unbeaten at that point and had its Big Ten season opener. It was unbeaten in non-conference play and then took on #2 Wisconsin, which ended up winning the national championship last year. And the Terps came away with a 5-set victory. Wisconsin ended up winning the national championship against Nebraska. And the team that Nebraska had to beat to get to the championship game was Pitt. And you know why we're talking about the Pitt Panthers?
Like that.
Anastasia Russ, number 88 on the Terps, not in the game at the moment, transferred here from there. And has been making an immediate impact on this Maryland team. Had 6 kills in their last game.
Russ, one of those players, she's just really has a big presence in front of the net, and she can kind of do it all. We see
standing at 6'5", definitely a presence on that front line. But right now, Raynell Jones, Sydney Dowler, and Layla Ivy controlling it. But the Hoosiers able to get the best of them on that play, and they lead at 6-3 in set 1. So Paula Sarame, the libero from San Juan, Puerto Rico, will serve this one right into the net. Serving this one, she, a sophomore, is starting to have more of an impact. Had an ace and a dig in just 10 sets last year, and now as a sophomore has played in 41 sets, has 12 service aces and 12 points. But that point goes to Indiana.
That's someone that Hughes really wanted to see improvement out of this season. Obviously not playing as much last year, but we've seen her really grow a lot as a player in these recent weeks and been a really solid player for this Maryland team, and she's now part of that rotation here as she trades off some of the reps with Sydney Dowler, who's, we know how good she is, over 1,000 assists last season.
Return here from the Hoosiers. Goes straight out of bounds, and Maryland knots it at 7. Missed that last one, but here we go, 7-6.
Shout out to the team running the scoreboard.
They're on their game quickly. Return here, Dowler sets it for Layla Ivy, and a powerful spike actually ties the game at 7.
Well, that's a really tough play to come back from if you're Indiana.
Especially when Layla Ivy's going to be right there to block it.
Really insane to see that Ivy, just as a freshman, has showed such versatility for this Maryland team in her first season.
Maryland has earned the last 4 points. Her serve, set up to the side. Nice up in the air by Gomillion toward the ceiling. Layla Ivy gets that one onto the other side. Sarame gets it over to Alonzo Corsellis, who gets Indiana its first point in a bit.
Maryland, a team that likes to go on runs a lot, Shane. We see when they really start playing their best, they're a team that's hard to stop. And Indiana, that was a big point for them right here. You can't let this Maryland team get too hot, or it might get away from you really early.
So Candela Alonso Corsellis serves that one, and she can't reach up and return that one, and Maryland gets that point. That's going to result in it's now a substitution being made here for the Hoosiers as Greg Gosnell, the junior from Charleston, South Carolina, checks in. Lexi Finnerty. Return here, they go toward the side, and Maddie Saris spikes and kills it. There's Colheed on the serve. Finnerty, get it to Dowler. Strong block from the Hoosiers. And into the net, Layla Ricks not able to get that one high enough, trying to go softer, but went a bit too soft, and it results in a Hoosier point, and we're not at a 10.
In the past, this wasn't really quite there for Ricks. It was a little bit behind her. She had to track back on it, and I think she was a little unsure of how she wanted to put that one over, and obviously just coming up a little short on it.
See what they do here. Instead, you could do it that way. Have 6'5" Anastasia Rush just reach up there and knock it down.
Really, how are you going to stop that if you're Indiana?
Player who experienced the Final Four a season ago at Pittsburgh. Starting to have a much bigger role on this Maryland team. Here in the front with the Hoosiers is Morgan Geddes trying to kill it, and she does. Will serve it as Maryland has a 2-point lead. On the far side, Maddie Saris, the dominant sophomore from Ontario. Among those up front for the Hoosiers as that serve goes straight out of bounds. Another service error. We've seen
just trying to get a feel for everything, and sometimes things change as we get to the later end of the game, but Indiana will have to clean that up as they move forward, because 4 free points for Maryland so far. That's the difference now. Maryland up by 1.
Gomillion bumps it in the direction of Sire. And then Candela Alonso Corsellis unable to return it in the air.
Look at the athleticism, Sam Sire. It kind of just comes down, goes right back into the ground. Really hard to return it. So just a great kill by Sire.
Sam Sire put that one all the way into in the air. And for the first, I don't know if we've ever seen it, the ball just went up and did not come down. She hit it straight up into the rafters, and then it bounced onto what looks like a batting cage maybe up there on the ceiling.
I was actually unaware. I thought that the ball was dead when it hit the ceiling, but they got to play it off the ceiling.
So the first time that happened, you got to have a little mess up, and then you realized? Sam Sire serves that one, and it turns into an error.
Just something to look at as we go forward here in this game is, can both these teams clean things up?
Seen a lot of errors in different ways early. Alonso Corsellis gets it over to Saris. Now on the other side, Dowler. That was a great play by Sydney Dowler. She reached up with one hand, got the ball over, and it resulted in a point. But that ball was moving so quickly that Dowler, lucky to get a hand on it. Look at this. That is a nice play.
Last time Maryland was here, we saw her break a play like that, and that's kind of the sneaky play that we see out of her. We see her, she likes to use that deceptive strategy. Looks like she's going to potentially set it up, and then she just puts it down, and no one really even ever sees it coming.
She's really turned into a leader on the court, the junior on this Maryland team, taking a leadership role. That ball finds the ground. Indiana with another point.
Got to give a lot of credit to Indiana in this set. When the Terps have tried to break off a run of their own, they've always had the response, and they just keep hanging around. They keep being down by as many as 1, 2 points, and they're hanging in tough in this first set.
They get it toward the side, and Indiana thinks it was touched. The officials say it wasn't. Game of those invitationals. And so for the Terps, you know, that Florida Gulf Coast team was a very good team. They played at home. Same thing with USF. and then Arizona.
Fifth set, you got to play in a fifth set overall. It's something that in some of the earlier games you don't see because the Terps will just wind up getting clean sweeps over some of the teams.
Indiana fired up after getting that point as it ties the set at 17. Alonzo Corsellis' serve. Dowler to Russ. Russ goes a little softer with it. They work it around towards Saris. Russ blocked by Colheed. And then Hayworth knocks it down to give Indiana an 18-17 lead. They sure have, and now he had another, I believe it's maybe the first time they've led in a while and make it a 2-point lead.
And Hughes looks like he's seen enough.
So now gonna look to try and do what the Hoosiers just did with a timeout, come out of it differently. We'll serve this one. Maddie Saris. Here's Dowler. Gonna go to Ricks. And ends up hopping over the net to be a Maryland point. Lexi Finnerty just checked back into the game. She serves it. On the other side, a nice spiking kill from Savannah Colheed. She got up there and knocked that straight into the corner, and she knew it immediately.
Caught the Terps flat-footed. Finnerty right there, and just look at it right here. Finnerty, nothing she can do about that one. Is one of those really low firing kills that go right down into the ground.
That time, the Hoosiers collect the point again, lead by 3.
Just taking a look at some of the numbers here. Maryland just overall losing the kill battle, 12 kills for the Hoosiers compared to just 7 for the Terps, and that's kind of been the difference so far. Maryland just looked a little bit flat.
But that time, they get one of their own.
Nice touch on the kill from Sire. No need to go too hard for it when you got it right there.
And once again, another point to the Terps. Right up front.
Running blocks in the Big Ten.
And in the entire country, one of the best that Maryland's ever had in that regard. Actually, the program leader in block assists and second in total blocks. So Maryland go million, another serve, but it's an error and a Hoosier point. And it bounces off the top of the net. Dowler to Raynell Jones, and then someone touched the net and it's Indiana's point.
I think it was Jones herself when it came back down, and she tried to get that second effort and just committing the violation there. Let's take another look at it, and yeah, it looks like she just got just a piece of it. See it bouncing up a little bit.
So a little mistake there makes it 23-21. Here's Maddie Saris. And Indiana finds the hole as Maryland had several of its members of the front line all the way on the side, leaving that wide open, and now Indiana has a set point. And out of play it goes, and Indiana wins set number 1. The 4 points on both sides. And Maryland will start us off here with a point. And she's from Marco Island, Florida. 871 kills over her 4 years in Philadelphia with the Owls. Was first team all AAC member there as well. And good to see her on the court for the Terps. So knotted at 1. Savannah Colheed on the serve. And straight down goes from Morgan Geddes.
And that's exactly one of those plays when the dig out comes right here. See it coming off Grimshaw, and just right in a perfect position for India right there. And you almost can kind of see it coming your way. Go, oh boy, this one can't be good for us. When it comes right back into the other side like that.
And that ball finds some space. one of the Laylas, whether it's her, Layla Ivy, and then Sam Sire in front. Milan Gomillion bumps it to Dowler, who's going to set up Sire, but perfectly blocked by Hayworth. Sam Sire tries it again on that side. Gomillion in the air, Sire able to bail her out. Dowler gets it over the net. And work it back out of bounds, it looked like. And they're going to say it was touched by Maryland before that. That time, another one of those service errors that we were talking about. Layla Ricks, the junior from Redondo Beach, California. Here in set number 2. And Gomillion diving, and Maryland keeps it alive. Some cheers from the crowd after that rally. Still going, and Sam Sire not able to get that one up into the air. Jumped at just the wrong time.
Making such a spectacular play like that to even keep it alive.
Gomillion trying to do something like that again, is that one in the air. Now Sam Sire shows what she could do in the front, but
There doesn't seem to be much arguing going on from Maryland, so.
Yeah, live from here, it looked like, at least the angle, the officials also kind of in the way a bit from exactly where it landed, but Maryland gets that point. Transferred here. She's played in 38 sets this year and has 36 digs. Gomillion to Ivy. Now on the other side. That was deflected, and Indiana gets the point. Another one that live looked like it might have just gone straight out. It was indeed tipped, and the Hoosiers are fired up.
They've caught the Terps just, in a sense, lacking a little bit so far today. Maryland a little sluggish out the gate, and that's kind of continued its way into the second set so far. We'll see if they can kind of get their way back. That's a big way to get it back right there.
The 6 right now on the floor for Adam Hughes. Nauman just can't get that one in the air, and another Indiana point.
Big Ten play in Maryland, trying to bounce back as well. So a lot on the line for both these teams today.
Emily Fitzner just checked in for Indiana and made that serve. She's appeared in 89 matches throughout her career. Had 1 service attempt in the Hoosiers game against Western Kentucky, which was the last of the Western Kentucky Invitational last weekend. Maryland back on the board. We'll serve this one right in front of the Maryland band. It's going to be set up toward the side, and it's an Indiana point on this serve. Sire for Dowler, and then a light push back with Gomillion. Ricks. And here we go, right here, Maddie Saris. Gomillion, right place, right time. Sire, and then blocked. Savannah Colheed was right in there for the Hoosiers. Trying to keep that rolling. Now Gomillion just not able to push it forward, and it gets off her hands, out of bounds. Maryland down 3. Texas, the middle blocker, played a lot over her 3 years here with IU, and right there, didn't have to do too much. The first set, as it won at 25-21, and before that it was really just getting away with 2-point leads, 3-point leads, and that 4-point lead becomes a 3-point lead as Sam Sire with a nice play up front. Will serve it once again. They're going to set it up toward the side. Jones and Ricks both in front, deliver the point as Maryland quickly pulls to within 2. Raynell Jones in the middle. Jumps up again now, Gomillion. Gets over toward Layla Ricks. And it's going to find a hole as Cameron Hayworth and company up front.
Maryland just trying to get themselves back into it. They've been so sluggish so far, but maybe going to catch a little bit of fire here.
Maddie Saris, a thunderous kill to that play. Hayworth on the serve. Dowler's gonna set it over to the side for Layla Ricks, and it's out of play, and it's an Indiana point.
One of those things that they've just had a hard time with. Indiana leading that court. They have 7 attacking errors, but still the result in favor of them so far.
Here's Layla Ricks' serve. Go million to Dowler. We get over towards Sire, and it's Indiana's point once again. The Hoosiers just keeping things rolling and not letting Maryland come too close to its lead in the second set. Just
not really the way we see Maryland Sire normally play. Usually we see that's a play that Sire makes, but too much on it, too much on those kill attempts, and Maryland's got to find a way to kind of calm their nerves a little bit. That's might be a little bit of an adrenaline thing going on trailing in this second set.
Sydney Dowler just came flying over to us after that one, and she hops back onto the floor, fields it, and back into the ceiling it goes on the Indiana return. Hayworth gets it over the net. Ricks to Dowler, and Raynell Jones. That is how Maryland wanted to get back on the board. Right in front, their star middle blocker takes care of business.
Changed directions from where that ball was hit, and it ended up kind of biting them in the back a little bit as it set up Maryland for the kill.
Who played in 116 sets last year and led the Hoosiers with 492 digs. Maryland collects the point there. Nauman bumps that one out of bounds. They serve it once again. San Diego, California native for the Hoosiers, and that ball once again with Indiana and another 4-point lead. Fitzner's serve again. Dowler toward getting it, and down it'll go, and Indiana, the bench is fired up with the dance in unison after opening up a 5-point lead. Adam Hughes calls his second and final timeout of the second set. He's used all 4 of his timeouts today. Hoosiers. Maryland. And back we go, Million. Can't find it. Indiana leads it by 6.
But another slow start out of the timeout, and that's not looking good for Maryland. As they're now 4 points away from losing set number 2.
But now the Hoosiers lead by a touchdown. Back it goes toward Ivy, and unable to get it into the air. Indiana. Ivy with a nice spike that grabs the hand of a Hoosier. Sydney Dowler with the serve. It's returned, and what a play by Cameron Hayworth. We were just talking about her, and that's why.
Looking like she's going to set him up. You know, we've seen that she's already had over 20 assists today, and she elects to go for the kill that time, and no one expects it from Maryland.
Sam Sire back with the Hoosiers. Hayworth blocked by Anastasia Russ. Dowler to give it to Gomillion, who's trying to set up Sam Sire, who goes with that one over the net. Saris gets it back to Layla Ricks, who's going to deliver the point for the Terps. Jem Grimshaw back to serve it. And it's a service error for the graduate student pin hitter. Savannah Colheed looking to finish set 2 off. Grimshaw to Dowler to Russ. Nice block. Maryland trying again. Sire getting up there, but Cameron Hayworth right in front, spikes it, kills it, and wins it. And Cameron Hayworth leads the Hoosiers with 5 double-doubles this year. Entering the weekend was 4th in the Big Ten in assists with 393. And we can see that she's one of those players with a big impact in different spots on the court. As Maryland starts off set 3 with a point. The error from Craig Gosnell on the return. Dowler's serve into the net. Another service error. The
on the
8th for the Terps today. Indiana has 6 of its own service errors as well, so it's not like there's a significant gap. Same deal with attack errors. Maryland has 8, Indiana has 7.
A lot lower than I'd like it to be.
So here we go. Grimshaw went diving for it, and the ball can only go out of bounds, and Indiana and Maryland nodded at 2. Candela Alonso Corcelis, along with Cameron Hayworth, on the floor for the Hoosiers. Maddie Saris has this serve. Gomillion to Dowler to Sire. A soft spike attempt ends up in front of the net, and the Hoosiers lead by 1.
Offhand there for Sire. We see her usually come down for the spikes with that right hand. She had to kind of range over and try for the left-handed flip instead, and she wasn't able to put enough on it.
Toward the net, it goes above and then sails over. Results in an Indiana point again. Consistently been leading by 2, 3, and then eventually at the end of the second set, 9 points. Sam Sire with a big spike there. Now it goes to the other side and out of bounds, not touched, and Maryland within 1. Indiana leading by 2 now. Here's Grimshaw to Dowler. Layla Ricks fires that one off of an Indiana player, earning Maryland its 4th point.
Maryland down 2 sets to nothing, and they're going to really need everything they can get out of all their players on the floor.
That ball goes out of bounds, and it's a Maryland point. Layla Ricks will serve it. As for Indiana this year, it is 7-6, 0-1 in the Big Ten. Also looking for its 2nd win on the road. They get it over with the Terps. Sam Sire tries it. Hard block, and then off of Candela Alonso Corcelis' hand. Indiana keeps it alive. Dowler behind toward Layla Ricks, who was jumped up in the air and pushed that ball forward, but a bit too far. And Indiana, another point to even this thing at 6. Coming back in for the Hoosiers is Emily Fitzner. Dowler redirects that one. And it results in a Maryland point. Nice play by the setter. Here's Sam Sire. He's set up, going back, and a nice play by Savannah Colheed. Savannah Colheed now 7 kills. And right into the net on the serve by Alonso Corcelis. Star freshman on the Hoosiers. And Layla Ricks, that time, that ball knocked out our monitor actually in front of us for a second. Looked like some wire was hit for a second when that ball just rolled right up to our table here. Ball came rolling over toward us. Anyway, we're all back to speed now, and so are the Indiana Hoosiers, benefiting off the attack error as the ball just sails out of bounds. Savannah Colheed will serve it with a 9-8 lead. Dowler running toward it, but unable to get there.
Towards her left side, and that makes it a much more difficult play to make.
Indiana now up to a 3-point lead. Just Dowler all the way in the front along with Russ, and then a little bit more in the middle, Sam Sire and Grimshaw right now. Gomillion, Layla Ricks back there as well. On the return, Grimshaw gets it over the net. Hayworth sets it up. Back they go. Dowler looking for Sire. She gets to her. Indiana controlling this one on the other end now. Dowler gets it towards Sire. A spike and kill. Sam Sire. A nice play there, doing what she does.
That was big, and in the 4-0 run for Indiana, but Sire using the top of the net to her advantage right there, putting it, and then that deflection makes it really difficult for Indiana to even get a hand on it.
That ball tips over the net, and Maryland with another point.
Another benefit of the top of the net right there. It deflects, and then it kind of just dies a little bit, and trying to get over there is Paula, but can't do it.
That ball bounced up and out of bounds. And Indiana just continuing to find ways to get points. Melissa Ilter comes back onto the floor. She's a freshman from Bursa, Turkey. She had 3 kills and 2 digs against Penn State. That ball goes out, and it's Maryland with a point. Here's Grimshaw. On the return, started by Gosnell. Back over, Maddie Saris. And now that time, Indiana not able to return it. Melissa Ilter, it came toward her on her side, and nothing she could do with it. Back to Russ, and on the ground is Sarame. That's going to get the crowd cheering a bit here in the pavilion, here on Big Ten Plus at the Xfinity Center Pavilion in College Park, Maryland. Setting it up in the back for Maddie Saris to flex off of Sydney Dowler, and Indiana out of the timeout with a point. That's exactly what you want to do if you're the Hoosiers out of the timeout, is get a point and do it that easily with Maddie Saris. She's the one who will serve it right here. And that ball goes out of play. Maryland gets another point. Here's Gomillion on the serve. Out of play. Quick service error.
Made Indiana work a lot more, a lot different than that second set, but to give them a point back right there kind of shifts momentum into their favor. And you know that's crucial when you're down 2-0.
Flipped up in the air, and Raynell Jones is right in the middle, stands tall, uses all of her height and just reaches up, knocks it down.
Well, you can see that one coming from a mile away. Ball sitting right in front of the net. Tallest player on the court, Raynell Jones, and we know how powerful she can throw it down. Easy play for her.
Corralling that one off the net, Ellie Watson, or Cameron Hayworth rather, for Indiana. Here's Layla Ricks. And out of bounds it goes. Here's Dowler, gets it to Sire. Grimshaw gets it, and that ball's gonna jump out of bounds. Colheed on the side. Gomillion to Dowler. Setting it up for Sire, but standing tall is Candela Alonso Corcelis to block it. How about the front line from Indiana today?
Awesome, just a really great play here by the blockers. Them two up front right there also. Savannah Colheed up there as well. Really tough to beat that block in the front of the net.
That was Alonso Corcelis' first block of the day. She's leading the Hoosiers, tied for the lead with 8 kills. Saris and Colheed also have that many. And set up Saris. Maryland on the return here. They flip it around to get it toward Grimshaw. And that was hit a couple of times. Gonna work it over, and a nice spike there by Savannah Colheed to keep Indiana, and as Indiana keeping Maryland close.
And this is textbook right there by the Hoosiers. Coley just rising up, and we've seen her do that so many times today. That's her 9th kill on the day. Getting close to that double-digit mark. She leads the Hoosiers so far, and she's been huge in why they've been able to break out to the lead thus far.
Getting it to Grimshaw. Oh, nice spike there, and just a great play by Cameron Hayward. She has been phenomenal today.
Just so good. Just so good overall. Look at the way she fights for it right here. And just look at the placement right in that back corner. And she sees that the Maryland defensive, like the back line right there, has come up a little bit. So she knows if she can just kind of ease it over and into their heads in that corner, there's no chance they're going to dig it out.
Just 4 kills for her today, but she has 27 assists. And now Indiana has scored the last 3 points to pull to within 1.
This is where if you're Maryland, you really can't allow for this to happen right here. You're down 2-0. You finally have a 4-point lead, 5 points away from winning the set. Now Indiana's on a furious run, and we've seen how when they've got hot, they've been kind of hard to stop.
See if Maryland's able to contain them. Off of the Savannah Colheed serve. Saris trying to get it to Ricks, but she can't field it. And Indiana knocks this thing at 20.
That's really just an easy play. Coley just has to just kind of nudge its way into that middle section there where no one is.
Anastasia Russ didn't have to do much there. Walks up. Indiana held Maryland to 21 and then held them to 16 in the second set. Right up front, Morgan Geddes.
Good time. Maryland's came out with something they've always had, the response.
Knocked down by Russ. Gonna set it up and trying to get it in. Basically there, Maddie Saris just can't control that one to go where she wanted it, and Maryland leads at 22-21. More points than they've scored in any set today.
Back-to-back blocks by her to put them in that position.
And she's even bigger right there. Sam Sire next to her, but Russ just knocks it down. And it would appear as though that's going to be ruled an Indiana point. See, Sire thought it was a Maryland point right away, but Russ His block was deflected by the Hoosiers. Having by far the most competitive set down to the wire they've had out of the three. Back it goes, but Maddie Saris is going to get the Hoosiers started off out of the timeout with a point. Now within one. Steve Aird just used both of his timeouts in this third set. First set in which he had to use all of them. Maryland yet to use either of the two. It has. Maddie Saris looking to tie this game up. Go Million to Dowler. Back towards Sam Sire. Deflected in front. Dowler. Way back to Grimshaw, and now chasing it all the way back. Trying to fist bump it up, and that's what she does. Maddie Saris is going to serve it for the Hoosiers, who have scored the last 2 points to tie the game. There it goes, and Layla Ricks and Jem Grimshaw kind of run into each other. And it's costly as it gets Indiana to set point. Maddie Saris gets it started. And really quickly, it's tied back up.
Now
Quick service error, and we're even at 24.
That hurts.
They had Maryland right where they wanted them. But we'll keep on going. Maryland point, that's going to ignite the crowd, I think, louder than we've heard it all day. Milan Gomillion on the serve. They get it back. Reno Jones, a hard spike to deliver it, and Maryland wins set number 3. Maryland battled them closer than they had and end up with the win. Terps.
That was a big set win for them moving forward, and they're going to have some more of that here in set 4.
And so Maryland started off set 3 with a point, and now it starts off set 4 getting the first point. 1-0. Back we go. Layla Ricks trying to jump up there. Indiana still keeping this ball alive. Nice play on both ends in the front. Anastasia Russ does it easily. And Maryland 2-0. So either way, Maryland ends up with the point. But that ball was bounced around a lot on that Hoosier side. Could have been 4 anyway. There is number 4, Jen Grimshaw, with a nice play to...
Ways they say Maryland slow in those first 2 sets, but since that third set, they've been a lot hotter here on the court.
Has this serve. Back it goes. Deflected and Gomillion, it's out of her reach. Maryland 3, Indiana 2. Back we go from Dowler to Grimshaw. Standing tall is Morgan Geddes to block it. So after Maryland scored the first 3 points, IU responds with 3 of its own. Indiana now up by 1. Colheed getting into a rhythm at the service line. Maryland trying to break it now. Grimshaw to Dowler. Russ had her spike blocked immediately, and then Layla Ricks gets a nice block. Layla Ricks, her 4th block of the day. Russ put that one back over the net. Sam Sire lifts that one up and then gets it back to Layla Ricks, and that ball sails out of play. For a second, I thought that might get into the basket. That time, Jen Grimshaw's serve goes into the net. So it's 5-5. Indiana this year, 7-6. It started off its season like Maryland did, hosting the Indiana Invitational, where it swept Indiana State and Chicago State, and then got swept by Jacksonville State. Layla Ricks gets it back toward the Hoosiers. Maddie Saris with a spike that can't get in the air by Milan Gomili, and it goes right underneath her. And the Hoosiers lead it by 1. After the Indiana Invitational, they headed to Corpus Christi, Texas for the Islanders Classic, where they were swept by SMU. Then they swept Sam Houston State, and then swept Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the host team, as Maryland. A nice play to...
When she gets going, that pairing between her and Jones, they can just be such a force at the front of the net. There's another block for them right there, but the way they're able to make Maryland have that defensive identity, it's been so big for them.
Layla Ricks
in this 4th set.
That ball goes out of play. Deflected by Maryland, allowing Indiana its 7th point. Maddie Saris again with the serve. Dowler gets it to Raynell Jones, who climbs up in the air again to deliver a kill.
You give her that second chance, especially when Indiana gets caught out of position. That's just a play Jones is going to make 10 out of 10 times.
That ball finds the ground. And Indiana nodding it at 8. Back goes Paula Sarame, the libero. That ball goes out of play. Maryland unable to keep that one in, and it's down 9-8 now. I was talking earlier about what Indiana has done this year. It hosted, like I said, its own tournament initially. Then they were in Corpus Christi, where they saw the Texas teams, SMU, Sam Houston, and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Maryland is going to now surrender another point. And so now Indiana, a 2-point advantage here in set 3 on a 3-0 scoring run. Anyway, after it was in Texas, they went to the NC State Classic, where they defeated Western Carolina, got swept by the host NC State Wildcats, and then lost in 5 to TCU. Noted that this Indiana team, that battle with Western Kentucky, that was a good team they were facing. As
Maryland's found a way to battle back, and that's just something that's part of the resilience that Coach Hughes talks about a lot with this Maryland team.
Scoring run, and it had a 2-point lead. And look at it now, a 4-0 scoring run and a 2-point lead for the Terps.
Falling behind 2-0, it puts you into that perspective where you go, I don't know how any way we can win this match, yet Maryland is trying.
And now looking to just keep it going out of the timeout. Indiana, a hard spiking kill coming from Candela Alonzo Corsellis, who said her name a lot today.
You can, and a timeout can do just that. When you have things going for you, and then you have that stoppage, makes it a little more difficult on the team.
And Erin Engel's serve falls right into the bottom part of the net. Got that one way more lower than she had wanted it. Meanwhile, so her and Raynell Jones off the floor. 14-13, Maryland leads. Here's Dowler, gets it over to Grimshaw, deflected by the Hoosiers, and it's Maryland's point. Gomili and out of reach of her, but it's Maryland's point.
She saw the velocity of that spike coming down, and she said, that one's probably going to go long. I got to get out of the way, and she made it Pretty dramatic looking scene out there, moving her arm around.
Well, that time she couldn't get to it. Here's Savannah Colheed. Dowler gets it to Russ, and Russ with a powerful kill. Maryland by 3.
Here in this 4th set, trying to force set number 5. That was a really big kill from the pit transfer.
Jen Grimshaw, another service error committed. Hayworth's serve, return. Dowler getting it towards Sire, and Sam Sire doing what she does best. The outside hitter delivering her 10th kill of the game. Gomillion this time. On the return, they get it to Saris, and Raynell Jones with a nice block. That'll fire them up, and Maryland now leading set number 4 by 4. Gomillion's serve. Return, Hayworth gets it to Saris, and now nothing Gomillion can do. But she deflected, or look, the ball was deflected by Maryland, allowing Indiana to score the point. Hoosiers now within 3 once again. Maddie Saris will serve it. Out of bounds, Maddie Saris with the serve. Jones. So back over. Gonna get it toward the outside, and Gomillion, did she get a piece of it? She did, and it's Indiana. That ball, nice play from Sire. Goes right into Ilter, and
7, Raynell Jones 6, Ricks with 6, Jen Grimshaw adding 5. So a lot of distribution of the kills going around from this Terps team today.
Gomillion flips that one over. They get it to Grimshaw, but standing tall is Melissa Ilter right in front. And a service error committed by the senior. Up in the air, Engel gets it to Grimshaw. Goes diving for it, puts it up, getting it toward her. And Maryland with another point. Deflected from the Hoosiers on the return, and Maryland leads this by 5.
Fight from this Maryland team. Been unmatched so far in set number 4.
A lot of the first one, winning both of them. Maryland won the 3rd set, and now is at set point, or is now 2 points away from winning. And a service error committed by the senior. Up in the air, Engel gets it to Grimshaw. Goes diving for it, puts it up, getting it toward her, and Maryland with another point. Deflected from the Hoosiers on the return. Here's Dowler's serve. Return by Saris, chasing it back, but not able to get there, and Maryland wins set 4.
So we'll have to keep that up here in the 5th set. Let's get ready to go.
So here we go. Dowler can't get that one where she wanted it, and Indiana, point number 1. Here's Savannah Colheed. And that ball was out of play. That ball goes out of play. Nicely done. And it results in a Maryland point. Ball goes around and out of play. Maddie Saris knocked that one the wrong way.
So service error, then 2 attacking errors by Indiana to start things off. Not how they wanted to start this 5th set. Obviously going to 15 here, put themselves in a hole early, and it just got even bigger.
And another reason right there. Nice play. Grimshaw on the serve. On the return, Saris gets that to Grimshaw, and Grimshaw runs out of room and just ball sails just over the Maryland players on the sideline. Layla Ricks, Sydney Dowler, Anastasia Russ in front for the Terps. That serve goes into the net and another error. Hayworth flips it back. Here's Gomillion. Gets it to Dowler, then Raynell Jones with a nice play. And Maryland leads it 6-2. 4-point lead. And that's gonna cause Coach Steve Aird to use his first timeout throughout this contest. Milan Gomillion will serve it. And here they come. Let's see what they can do. Maddie Saris deflected by Sam Sire on the outside. Gomillion, Grimshaw, and Sire in the back for the Terps. Dowler gets it to Layla Ricks. And Maryland will not get that point as ball went out. So Maryland 6, Indiana 4. Maddie Saris leading Indiana with 15 kills in this game. She serves it. Grimshaw puts that one behind Gomillion. Thought she might have had it, and she did have enough room, but unable to get that in the air. She would have had to really bump that one and hit it in the air behind her, and unable to do that as the ball quickly closed in on her, battling with the band right in that spot as well. So for the Hoosiers, it's their third straight point, all out of that timeout, and now they trail by just one. Saris again with the serve. Grimshaw to Dowler to Raynell Jones. Nicely blocked by Morgan Geddes. Gets it to Sire outside. Hoosiers staying with it. Grimshaw looking for Gomillion. Gets it to Sam Sire as it tips off the blockers in the front. Back it goes. Raynell Jones knocks that one forward along with Layla Ricks. Gomillion trying to get it in the air and not able to do that. Deflects off her, and Indiana, a 4-0 run, ties the game at 6.
That was some rally right there between both teams, and Jones and Ricks doing a really good job just getting up there, but then that kill comes and Gomillion just unable to get over to her left side and make the play on it, but that's kind of what happens when it gets all bunched up on the one side.
So Sam Sire that time with the kill, and Maryland its first point in a little while, and it leads 7-6.
Ball bouncing all the way up into the netting thing up there. Now both sides have got a ball up there.
So Layla Ricks handles the serve. On the return, Geddes gets it over the net. Gomillion setting up Sam Sire, who kills it for the second straight time and for the 13th time today. That's the 8th point. The teams will switch sides.
And Raynell Jones just accidentally caught Dowler in the eye on the celebration right there. I don't know if we'll be able to get another look at this, but Gomillion sets it up and Sire does the rest. Got the celebration right here. And they see it right in the face of Dowler. Raynell Jones just comes up.
Oh, no.
Getting a little crazy here in this 5th set,
She
Shane.
slapped her in the face. I mean, everyone's fired up.
I mean,
emotions are high.
This is some kind of comeback so far from Maryland, and this will be an emotional victory if Maryland's able to pull this thing off here, going down 2-0 in terms of sets, and they've battled all the way back, and now they've got themselves 7 points away from a remarkable comfort behind victory.
You know, earlier we were talking about the discrepancy in hit percentage with both teams. Indiana was far out in front, but right now Indiana 235, Maryland 233. Maryland has come all the way back in nearly every regard, and it's not like they were ever that far out of it, but Indiana was controlling the game. And now Maryland has just been battling with them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Shane. I feel like Indiana was around hovering over like 410 at one point hitting percentage, so that's just dropped way off, and that's kind of in turn brought Maryland back into this game. We see Maryland 12 blocks compared to just 6 for Indiana, and that's been a huge difference maker so far, especially in this third, fourth, now fifth set.
Service errors have really hurt both sides, and Layla Ricks is right there. It's the 17th for the Terps. Indiana has 16 of its own, so that's just been a consistent issue that we've been talking about throughout the game. Looking to not contribute to it is Paula Sarame. Back to Sam Sire, but that ball is out of play. She came out with one of her hard spikes, but Dowler gets it to Sire, blocked. Returns Saris. They work it around to Alonso Corsellis, and she's gonna let lead Indiana to its 9th point. And now the first to 15, win by 2, will win the match. Sire, little floater, and Indiana's front line trying to really hold off Maryland, led by Melissa Ilter right there. They've been great all day. Grimshaw gets it to Reno Jones, and Candela Alonso Corsellis not able to return it. Maryland within 1 quickly. Out of the timeout, doing just what Indiana did after it came out of its timeout in the 5th set. Alonso Corsellis trying to get it to Jones. It's gonna be bounced around a bit before hitting the ground, and Indiana will get the point. Here we go. Sire to Dowler, gets it to Grimshaw. Saris gets it back to Alonso Corsellis. Go Million to Dowler. Jones tipped once, then set, and then spiked. Sire keeps it alive to Layla Ricks. Back to Grimshaw. There, can't get the pancake. Trying was Emily Fitzner, diving across, and Maryland's gonna get a big point.
And now they got themselves in a one point set here.
Alonso Corsellis gets that one over to Sam Sire. Back to Grimshaw. Sarame takes it back over. Russ knocks it down, and we're tied at 11. Anastasia Russ.
Kind of floated there for a second, and she just had to put a hand on it and just send it over the head of the Hoosiers.
Out of play. Deflected on the way out to help the Hoosiers just pull away. Leading by 1, Dowler and Maddie Saris right up at the net. Maryland awaiting the return. Here we go. That was fast.
And now look where we are now, here in this 5th set.
Gray Gosnell back on the floor for the Hoosiers. They get it right toward the side. Dowler goes back and spiked and killed and tied at 13. Sam Sire, clutch when she needs to be. 14 kills for the junior. Indiana uses its 2nd and final timeout, as both these teams are 2 points away from victory. Been a battle since the start. Dowler's serve. Set up for Saris, and Dowler can't field it. 14-13, Indiana, match point.
Maryland been in a position like this basically all game long, and it's all coming into fruition right here. Maryland got to work to get back here.
Up in the air it goes. They get it back to Grimshaw, deflected. We spiked over a lot of Nice block from Layla Ricks in the front, and Maryland awarded the point. And so we're even at 14.
Just look at the way Maryland's gotten so fired up these past couple sets. The energy in here is incredible.
Sure is. Russ with a nice play there. They get it back over. Gomillion. Bumped around for Sam Sire. On the return here. Saris. Past Gomillion. Indiana. Back to match point. Cameron Hayworth on the service line. And out of play, service error. Service error number 18 for the Hoosiers. Saris gets it back to her. Grimshaw. Back to Raynell Jones. Saris. Hit by Gomillion in the air toward the scorer's table. Sire trying to play it, but won't be able to. Ball was deflected by her, and so Maryland now trailing by 1 again. And the Hoosiers a point away from winning this whole thing once again.
A lot of wild bumps and bounces there. That one, Sire trying to do her best impression of an NBA player jumping on a scorer's table after hitting a game winner.
Yeah. Dowler in the air. Sire gets it. And that's going to get out of bounds. And Indiana, after a battle, secures the victory.